Hey, I'm Willard Scott, inviting you to watch Charlotte's only outdoor weatherman, Dr. Joe Conway.
From News 36 Sports, the biggest bash in basketball. Live from Uptown Charlotte, it's the NBA All-Star Game Special with News 36 Sports Director Jim Celania and special guest, former NBA All-Star Bobby Jones. Tonight, some of the brightest stars in the NBA talk about their showdown in Charlotte. Kendall Gill will display the wham slam techniques they hope will wow the judges at the slam dunk contest. And 3 Charlotte NBA veterans reflect on their all-star careers.
Good evening, everybody. This is Jim Celania. Uptown, downtown, whatever you like to call it. We're at the Omni International Hotel in Charlotte. Now, this is the first of 2 live NBA All-Star specials. And with me tonight, and glad he's here to help guide me through this thing, Bobby Jones from South Meck, North Carolina, the Olympic team, championship with the 76ers, All-Star 4 times in the NBA, not even counting the ABA. Bobby, has the All-Star game changed since you were in this thing?
Jim, has changed quite a bit. I remember my first NBA All-Star game in Milwaukee had 2 hotels. There was nobody in the lobby. It was like a little reunion of maybe 10, 15 people.
Yeah. So it has grown up. It's become showbiz.
It's become an event. It really
sure
has.
Okay, Bobby's going to be with us. We got lots of things we want to show you throughout the night. Let's go to Wil Hampton, who's out there somewhere in the Omni. Hey, Willie.
Right here, Jim. I tell you, this is what I like about this event. I got a chance to talk to some of the players today. No pressure whatsoever. This isn't a championship. This isn't a Final Four. They are here to party and to enjoy Charlotte, their friends, their family. Michael Jordan told me he's got a whole section of the Coliseum reserved for his people. The memories, they're about to start. And this time next year, we'll see Charlotte on the big board of memories. Jim, back to you.
All right, Will, you know, there have been 40 All-Star games before this one was played, and it hasn't been played yet, but we can hardly wait for it. You know, all 40 of those games, they've been different in style and in skill. One thing they have in common, it's a great way to showcase the best in the NBA. The first NBA All-Star game took place in 1951. The league itself was only 5 years old then. Perhaps you can tell by some of these highlights. Still, there were a few standouts, such as number 99, Big George Mikan. The big man who so dominated the inside, the league had to adopt the 3-second rule. And number 14, Bob Cousy. The Boston Celtics, whose ball wizardry wasn't matched until Earl the Pearl Monroe came along 20 years later. The East won that first game, setting the pace for its future dominance. In the NBA, the 60s began with a boom. It was named Wilt Chamberlain. In his rookie year, Wilt the Stilt led the East squad to victory with 23 points and 25 rebounds. The MVP honors he earned in that game were the first of many awards in an illustrious career. 2 years later, Chamberlain again entered the record book, scoring 42 points in the annual event. But his performance was overshadowed by Bob Pettit, whose 25 helped lead the West to victory in front of his hometown crowd. By the end of the 60s, the league boasted several great ball handlers, including Earl Monroe, the Pearl. Teammate Gus Johnson and Oscar Robertson led a fourth-quarter surge for another East victory. By the 80s, the league had matured into a finely tuned entertainment machine, and still we call the greatest players in the world by their first names. In the '88 All-Star game, Michael scored 40 points, just missing Wilt's game record, as he led the East to a win and took home the MVP trophy. All right, let's talk about the All-Star game, Bobby. And before long, I'm going to ask you what you think about the voting and how it's done. Let's take a look at the voting and how it came out this year and see how close any Charlotte Hornets came to making the team. In the guard voting for the Eastern Conference, Michael Jordan ran up a couple of votes, like 1,200,000 and change. Muggsy Bogues was 5th, so he was actually the highest vote getter among the Hornets at that position. Now at the center spot, J.R. Reed was 5th. Patrick Ewing was number 1. Mike Jaminski came in 9th in the center voting. And let me ask you, Bobby, I know certain All-Star games in history have been voted on by the players. That would seem to be the way to get the absolute best players. Now we let the fans do it. How do you think it should be?
Well, I think the fans need to be involved. It's the fans' game, and you know, I've been voted by the fans and I've been selected by the coaches. I would say that my selection by the coaches was more important to me. It meant more to me I think the way it is done now is the best way, because the fans are going to take the best players, and then the coaches can select those guys who should be on it, and maybe the fans really aren't aware of right at the time.
Yeah, the one thing you certainly don't want it to ever become is a most popular contest instead of who the best players are.
Exactly.
So Bobby's got good reason to be proud of the way he was elected into the All-Star game by the players, and no one was stuffing the ballot box. And even today, as Jay Squires reports, Bobby Jones feels at home on the court.
Unless you kind of know what it's like for guys that play in the NBA.
The players at Charlotte Christian feel lucky their coach Bobby Jones plays with them instead of the NBA at the age of 39.
You know, when I left at 34, I just felt that really my children, my time with my family was starting to become important. My children were becoming school age, and I was missing out on some things. And also my body was sort of telling me, hey, it's getting close to the end. I had ankle surgery in my last year, and so those kind of things just sort of led me to think, you know, maybe the Lord's got something else planned in my life. In Proverbs, the lesson we can learn is to be like the ant, who is industrious and diligent in all that he does. And for us, you know,
1 minute, Bobby speaks to his team in a daily devotional. The next thing you know, he's blocking their shots. He can't block them all, though. Listen to this shot.
It's sort of a rub block, It's sort of like a butterfly block shot. It's not that powerful anymore.
Humbly powerful is a good way to describe this four-time NBA All-Star. Jones teaches and coaches a very aggressive game, which sits just fine, thank you, with his Christian beliefs and background.
As a Christian, you know, the Bible says that whatever you do as unto the Lord, and that means in basketball, you know, really to survive, you've got to be aggressive. And I want my kids to be as aggressive as they can, dive on the floor for the loose ball, and box out as hard as they can, and do things within the rules of the game to play the game the way it should be played.
Bobby's relatively small team seems to have learned that well. The Knights are 16-4, hoping for conference and state titles, and they're listening to a man who says a lot, even when he only says a little.
Good job, George.
At Charlotte Christian School, Jay Squires, News 36 Sports.
Okay, so let's get the scoop right now. What if some high school or some college from outside of Charlotte wants Bobby Jones?
I'm happy where I am. My kids are sixth grader and third grader at the school. I've got a little kindergarten girl going there next year, so I hope to see them all through that school.
All right, a man who's fulfilled and very happy. And the Omni's full, by the way. I mean, this place is packed. We're going to be back with more on our All-Star special from the Omni after these words from our sponsors.
Coming up, what will it take to win the slam dunk competition tomorrow? Kendall Gill give you a preview. And do you recognize this player? Today, he coaches a local college team. He'll reflect on his All-Star career next on the NBA All-Star Special.
This WCNC-TV NBA All-Star Special brought to you by Gatorade, Home Federal, and Meineke.
When Gatorade discovered our competition had added fizz to their sport drink, we didn't know what to make of it. But we figured it out. Because we leave out the carbonation, some people find Gatorade a lot easier to swallow than the idea of a sport drink from the makers of Mountain Dew.
When you're in my business, you got to do more than keep up with the Joneses. You got to keep up with the Fords, the Toyotas, the Chryslers, everyone. I own a Meineke discount muffler shop. Each year when the car companies come out with their new suspension or brake systems, we come out with the right ways to fix them. Face it, if you want your car to run as good as new, you can't fix it with old technology. At Meineke discount mufflers nationwide, nothing is unimportant. Nothing.
At Sims, you'll never see this word, because Sims represents at off price over 200 world-famous designer and brand names in men's, women's, and children's clothing. You can always buy men's current, nationally advertised $290 suits for $159, women's $235 suits for $139. There's never a reason for a sale. At Sims, an educated consumer is our best customer.
Hardee's 99-cent breakfast, huh? Ooh, made from scratch biscuit with sausage. That's the one I want. Sold. Wait a sec. The biscuits and gravy. Okay, then biscuits and gravy it is. Hold it. A bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I didn't see that. Or hot cinnamon raisin biscuits. Ooh, red sausage 99. Wait, go back.
Can I help you?
With all this at 99 cents, the only easy choice is where to go.
Ah, sausage, cinnamon, raisin, biscuit.
99-cent breakfast every day. Only Hardee's.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Omni. Jim Celania along with Bobby Jones. This is where the players are staying. This is NBA headquarters in uptown or downtown Charlotte, whatever you like to say. Bobby, I want to talk about the three-pointer first of all. How many of them did you knock down in your career?
Well, I was 0 for 17 for the 12 years I played.
0 for 17, so we better find somebody else to give us a clue on how to make it.
Good idea, yes.
Okay, well, we got the guy, okay. Del Curry showed Wil Hampton how to hit the outside bomb.
The three-pointer. It can get fans up and opponents down quicker than any shot in the game.
Yeah, it's back-breaking momentum building, also can get you back in the game in a hurry. You're down 10, 15 points with the three-point rule in effect, and that's not a big lead at all.
Del won't be at the All-Star three-point contest, but at a recent exhibition, he proved he can shoot the bomb. The real contest features 5 shooting stations, each with 4 brown one-point balls and the 2-point red, white, and blue ball. Del agrees it's nothing like game conditions.
And it's also can get pretty tiring. You have to be quick. You can't be a jump shooter. You know, you have to just be quick and not jump very high because it wastes time.
So who's Del's favorite tomorrow night?
I'm going to favor Craig Hodges and Danny Ainge because those guys they're experienced three-pointers, and I'll take Danny Ainge over Hodges because the simple fact I think he gets the ball, he releases the ball quicker, and won't be pressured to shoot the ball quicker than what he wants to.
Wil Hampton, News 36 Sports.
Okay, now I know one thing you did a lot of in the NBA, and that's block shots and play great defense and dunk the basketball. You never had a problem dunking the basketball. Crazy question. How many times in your ABA, NBA career do you think you dunked it?
You know, that's a good question. Our stat man with the Sixers used to keep track of that every year. I think probably a couple hundred, 300 or 400 maybe.
All right, we got a couple of guys in the dunk contest. Rex and Kendall, high flyers, skywalkers, I guess you could call them. Not like David Thompson was at one time, but they can get up there. And Rexon wouldn't talk to us about it. He's been injured a little bit, but Kendall Gill shared some of his secrets for the slam dunk contest.
Just last week at the Grady Cole Center, Kendall Gill displayed some of the slams he'll show tomorrow. Look for one off the board that ought to go down with more authority than this. Kendall can do some Michael Jordan-like stuff. Here he takes off at the broken circle. Expect him to add some flash by kicking his legs out. The tomahawk with the splits looks pretty impressive. Gill promises to have something up his sleeve that he'll do with one of his first 2 slams. What is his secret?
No, I wouldn't tell you my secrets if I wanted them to remain secrets, would I? All right, then.
Thank you, Kendall. He will reveal it tomorrow night. He hopes not like this. Jay Squires, News 36 Sports.
Oh, I know Kendall's going to have some butterflies going, and you're one of the guys. Bobby Jones is going to be one of the coaches. I mean, not coaches, but one of the judges for the slam dunk.
Yeah, they've gone to a format where they have just ex-players judging this contest, and it's going to be a little bit different this year. They're going to have a format where if you miss a dunk, you can still get an 8, and they're emphasizing creativity a little bit more this year. So it's going to be interesting. I think a guy like Kendall will have a better chance because of that.
Oh, that's great. You know, Bobby's not the only ex-All-Star living here in Charlotte. We're going to meet another one when we come back after this word from our sponsors. Stay with us.
Next, a preview of the legends of the game. The big names of yesteryear return to the courts. And the rise, fall, and resurrection of former All-Star MVP David Thompson when the NBA All-Star Special continues.
When Gatorade discovered our competition had added fizz to their sport drink, we didn't know what to make of it. But we figured it out. Because we leave out the carbonation, some people find Gatorade a lot easier to swallow than the idea of a sport drink from the makers of Mountain Dew.
You know, people drive into my Meineke shop for a low price, and they get it. But I own this business, and I know that price isn't the only important thing. Service is important. Quality workmanship and attention to detail are important. Top-notch parts are important. In fact, at Meineke Discount Mufflers, nothing is unimportant. That's why the only thing we discount is price. At my shop and all the independently owned Meinekes nationwide, nothing is unimportant.
That hot cup of coffee,
Hello, Alan. How are you?
That first name greeting, that fast, friendly service you get makes you feel like you're at home, and you are at Home Federal Savings.
Hi, I'm Joe King, inviting you to come to Home Federal for all your banking needs. We now have checking and savings accounts, personal, auto, and mortgage loans, as well as Visa and MasterCard. We're large enough to offer you the services that you want and need, but small enough to give you the personal service that you deserve.
Shawnee's Seafood Bar on Friday and Saturday nights is loaded with great baked fish, fried shrimp, boiled shrimp, fried clams, and hush puppies. Since I started playing this game, I found that nothing warms me up like a bowl of Shawnee's hot, delicious soup. It tastes great. And you don't have to chew it.
The Charlotte Hornets.
And I've got the tickets.
Get in on the Hornets action. Play Sports Stumper with Jim Celania Monday and Wednesday on First News at 5:30. If you're the caller with the correct answer to that day's question, you could win Hornets tickets, courtesy of Gatorade.
I've got some tough questions, but if you've got the answers, you could be on your way to a Hornets game.
So play along with Jim Celania. It's Sports Stumper Monday and Wednesday on First News at 5:30.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back live to the Omni. Bobby Jones along with Jim Celania. Our Wil Hampton has a very special guest, one guy who has done extraordinary jobs with the NBA, the commissioner. Take it, Will.
Thank you very much. I am honored to be standing next to David Stern, the commissioner of the NBA. Well, what do you think? Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm honored to be here. It's a great city. We've been impressed from the day the governor and the mayor and the Coliseum commissioners came banging on our door with George Shinn to say we're the place to be, and there's nothing that's happened between then and now to change that impression. It's a very hospitable, real basketball city.
You have pushed the NBA All-Star Game since you have taken over the commissioner's job. You're excited about it. You want the players to continue their excitement. Are the players like Magic and guys that have been here a while still excited?
All I can say to that is watch them this weekend. Watch them in the slam dunk. Watch them in the three-point shot. Watch them watching those competitions, and then catch them at All-Star Game. They, you know, as Clyde Drexler said this morning, they asked him on the Today Show, it's your fifth time. What's it like? He says it's just as exciting every time.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Jim, back to you.
Okay, Will, thank you also, Commissioner Stern. Bobby, you know, when you were just beginning your NBA career, another great basketball player from these parts was closing his out. All athletes strive to get on top. Jeff Mullins has been there.
Everybody that plays or works in something, you want to play at the apex, you want to play against the best, and certainly an all-star game is the best, and the NBA is the best.
Good words from a man who has indeed been at the top of his game. If winning is a barometer of success, Jeff Mullins has very few peers. These days, Jeff spends a lot of time watching his young 49er team learn the game of basketball. None of them ever saw Jeff play. They aren't old enough. But if they ever get close to his accomplishments, they will be in a very select circle. Mullins was named Mr. Kentucky in high school basketball, on to college, where he was an All-American at Duke University, then an Olympic gold medal. From there, the NBA, a title with the Warriors, and all-star status. Of all those accomplishments, which one was sweetest?
Anytime you stand on that platform and somebody puts that gold medal around your neck and they say you're #1 in the world at that time, that was a great thrill. And the same way with the 75 NBA championship. You know, for one time and one moment when you stop that clock or you ever look back, you're the best and part of the best. And so those two stand out as by far my biggest thrill.
22 years ago, Jeff played in the 1969 All-Star Game in Baltimore. In the red uniform, he's number 24 for the West. Jeff scored 14 points on 7 out of 14 shooting. He was second leading scorer for his team, only to be outdone by the great one, Elgin Baylor. He had 4 rebounds and led the team with 5 assists. On the same court at the same time, players like Chamberlain, Russell, Jabbar, Robertson, Baylor, West. It might seem more impressive now, 22 years later.
Very often in our daily jobs, you don't stop and reflect. But hearing you say that and to think that I played against probably the 3 greatest big men to ever play the game and played against them a lot is something that I guess I always cherish. They're wonderful people.
The game of basketball has changed a lot since Jeff's glory days. It's still 5-on-5, but a lot more territory goes with it.
It comes with basketball today, the collegiate level and even and certainly at the pro level. The exposure that the athletes get is so great now, every day, that there aren't as many peaks and valleys. You know, big deal that the whole world's going to watch the All-Star game. They watch my games every night, you know.
Jeff was invited to play in the Old Timers game here in Charlotte tomorrow night, but his team plays on the road. That comes first. But what about on down the road? Are we going to see Jeff out there on the court again?
Well, no, I don't think so. I figured this might be the last year that I could probably run up and down the floor a few times. So, no, I think I probably missed. I had one other invitation, and I had a college game to do on television, and so I kind of missed that. But that's okay. It was an honor to be invited.
I've seen him out in the court. He can still fill it up, getting up and down it. Now, that I can't talk about. You know, for 7 years they've been doing the Legends game, and Bobby, I know you really enjoy playing in this thing. It's got to be fun to get out there just to see your old friends again.
It's a great time. It's a great reunion, the camaraderie of just watching the guys play. And, you know, guys are competitors. They're doing their best. They want to work the ball around, and it's just been a lot of fun just to be around those guys again.
There's Rick Barry, and I saw DeBuscher, and there's
big Connie Hawkins with big hands.
Connie Hawkins, the Hawk. This guy took the ball and made it look like a pear sometimes. It was so small in his hands. I believe that's Downtown Brown.
That's
no,
right.
It didn't.
Yes, it sure is.
Fred. Oh, that's why I said Fred on his back. I thought it'd say Brown. And Downtown had it all together, didn't he, from Seattle? Okay, for the East squad, Burleson, Cowens, DeBuscher, Phil Ford, Bobby Jones. We got a lot of ACC flavor in here, don't we?
Maurice Lucas, Jack Marin, Oscar Robertson, Charlie Scott, David Thompson. It's going to be, you know, a lot of local flavor. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch those guys.
David Thompson, that's a ringer. I mean, he's been playing at the Y. He's ready. Let's go over to the other West now. Rick Barry, he takes it real serious. Phil Chenier, George Gervin, the Iceman. He says he's going to take on Thompson one-on-one. That should be a great matchup. There's the A train. Who are you going to guard out there?
I don't know. I don't want any of those guys. They're all too young for me, I think.
Sam Jones he loved that glass, didn't he, that bank shot?
Yep.
Jerry Lucas, Calvin Murphy, another player who takes it real serious, is out to win, wants to make the three-pointers and score on you.
Danny Brownfield, I played with him many years. He's a good matchup for me, I think. Jamal Wilkes, a good touch player.
And then also Jamal Wilkes also is going to be out there. So right now I think we're going to try to talk to another one of our all-star players, and that was David Thompson. David Thompson, a tremendous player from the Charlotte area, living here right now, and Jay Squires has more on Thompson.
Memories of his glory days on the court are fading. David Thompson's well-documented off-the-court problems put the game of basketball into perspective long ago. As youth programs coordinator for the Hornets, he has been a backdrop for today's NBA stars. His specialty now is talking with kids about the drug and alcohol problems that tarnish the legend of David Thompson.
Here I was, a guy who was two-time college basketball player of the year. A guy that was a 5-time All-Star, most valuable player in 2 All-Star games, the highest paid professional athlete in the game. And here I was in jail. See, that's where drugs and alcohol had taken me. They had taken me from the top all the way down to the bottom.
These talks are important to David.
It's been the best thing that could have happened to me. I'm able to go out and tell my story to other people, and it helps me as well. And also, I'm able to be around basketball, a game that I love.
Many people, when they think of David Thompson, think of college basketball. At NC State, this trophy case basically dedicated to Thompson. His uniform, number 44, forever reserved for him. In 1974, he reached the ultimate goal, a national championship. And what's he think of when he hears the phrase, the best college player ever?
Well, it makes me feel good that I had an outstanding college career. But it also, you know, says that I probably could have had a little bit better professional career if I hadn't gotten involved in some of the things that I did. But, you know, to be at North Carolina State and only to lose 7 games in a 3-year career was really a great record. At the time, we kind of took for granted how great it was, but now as you look back on it and see that no other team has done that, it makes it that much more precious.
He's definitely looking forward to this weekend. He'll play in the Legends game Saturday night.
It should be a lot of fun. Get out there again, play with some guys that I played against, and it should be a lot of fun. You know, we got guys like Tommy Burleson, Bobby Jones, Rick Barry, great players in the game, and just to be out there on the floor again will be real exciting for me.
And the fans are excited too to see the original Skywalker take flight again. Wil Hampton, News 36 Sports.
Of course, that's my fault. Wil Hampton reporting and not Jay Squires. He literally could go through the clouds, couldn't he?
David was one of the all-time greatest. I played against him at North Carolina, and then playing with him, one game he had 72 points, third highest in league history. Just a great athlete.
All right, we're going to be right back with more from the Omni. We're just about through, but we'll be back. That's after this.
Stay tuned. The NBA All-Star Special will continue on WCNC-TV 36.
Anybody can say they're the best. Anybody can promise quality or great service. But when you invest hard-earned money in a business, you're not just anybody. I own my Meineke shop. I have to have satisfied customers. So do hundreds of other Meineke owners, coast to coast. Need a new muffler? Brake work? Come into Meineke. Nothing is unimportant here, especially delivering on what we promise you. At Meineke Discount Mufflers, nothing is unimportant.
Your family has always known saving is important, Lillian Marie, but it became even more important when you came along. Now your parents and I are thinking more and more about your future, your braces, your first car, college. We want you to have it all, and saving will make it possible. And I know your money will be safe and growing at Home Federal. So rest easy, Lillian Marie. Your parents, Home Federal, and I are already working on your future.
You're about to experience the smell of clean. Introducing concentrated Ultra Gain. Just one scoop has so much freshening power, it leaves your clothes smelling like sunshine. New concentrated Ultra Gain for clothes as clean as sunshine.
Now, America's #1 store for top brand audio, video, and appliances brings you values you can't afford to miss. Like this Magnavox DCI with easy on-screen programming by remote. Now only $229.97. And this Whirlpool 2-speed large capacity washer. Yours now for just $288.97. Hurry in now for values you can't afford to miss at America's #1 audio, video, and appliance store.
Welcome back to the Omni. Jim Celania along with Bobby Jones. Join us again Sunday at 12:30. We're going to be live from the Charlotte Coliseum, of course. That's just moments before the big All-Star game. Former NBA great local favorite Jeff Mullins will be joining us at 12:30 Sunday afternoon. We'll be live from the Coliseum where the show is about to begin. We'll take you behind the television cameras to see how the network gets ready, and we'll have some special memories from players like Magic Johnson. So I want to thank my Wil Hampton. Hey, thank you, Willie.
I am ready. I'm here by the souvenir stand. I am ready to do it. Even if you're not going to the game, fans, get yourself a souvenir. Jim?
All right, Will, and I want to thank Bobby Jones. Bobby?
Thank you, Jim. Great to be with you.
Good to see you, buddy. This guy ought to be out there playing, I think, Sunday, but he's happy what he's doing. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again Sunday. Bye-bye.
When economic